Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do this tarot reading. Is like an update actually for the actor um Gong, and because we are in Cancer season, he is a Cancer man, and also he's very loved. He's very loved here in my channel, in my community. So I was like, it's been a while since I read for him individually. So yes, I'm going to do this for the rest of 2025 to see what's available for him. So yeah, let's begin with the tarot cards that he got. We start with the Eight of Swords. We have the World card. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the middle, the Lovers, the Nine of Pentacles. Then I pull extra cards from another tarot decks, and I got the cards of Daughter of Air, that it would be like the Page of Swords, and then the Seven of Swords, that it says the keyword in this card. It says seek the truth. So yeah, very interesting, very mental, very intellectual. I would say probably this. He's reviewing a lot of his options. Um, there's movement in his life, I would say. There's also a lot of observation. There's also a lot of observation. I don't know, maybe the fans, maybe you guys are more updated about maybe future projects. Um, I honestly think that maybe since 2025 started until now, seeing the Eight of Swords, the World card, the Wheel of Fortune in the middle, there's something about cycles, finally a cycle coming to its end. And with this ending, or with this, like the wheel is turning, is moving to another chapter. It's like, evolving. Since we start with the Eight of Swords, I think that he really was looking forward to closing certain cycles. I don't know if it's like closing certain deals or contracts that he had in the past that were giving him a bit of anxiety. Maybe I don't think that it was like that serious, but there's something with the Eight of Swords, like, I cannot think straight, or I cannot concentrate until I finish either it's a contract, or it's like a project, something that sort of have him maybe tied to certain commitments. He had to show up to certain things that with the Eight of Swords is giving me like he had enough of that experience. It's like, yeah, initially I was excited, but you know, now in this new year, 2025, I feel like it kept me in a very uncomfortable position. Like, it seems like he couldn't maybe move on to another project until he finished this. Maybe it demanded a lot of him, and mentally he wasn't enjoying it. Maybe he was a bit worried, or I think that there's something about him feeling stuck. Like, this is not fun anymore, or maybe this job or this role is not original anymore, or is not that exciting, or I signed up for this when, maybe the concept was different initially, but now this year it feels like something that I really want to move from this. I actually, it's not that he doesn't want to be associated with the project, but there's something about him being like, please, can we move on from this, or can I be let go of this? Um, I need to be free. Set me free, please. Set me free, even mentally. So I wonder if he had like conversations with people where, he felt a bit stuck, like maybe people mentioning like, oh, because, you're doing this, or you have your role in this, so wow, it must be important. And he is a very He's a guy that he's looking for things to flow in his life, and maybe he's much more open to another experiences, and he just needed this liberation, I would say. I don't think that it was demanding physically, because I don't see physical like, oh, it was challenging. I had a lot of long hours of work, or I had to put a lot of effort. It's more like mentally. Like mentally, I heard people talking, or people were having conversations around me, and I felt stuck. Like I no longer resonate with this, or I don't want to be here, honestly. Um, but with the world card, there's something also that I think that it talks about maybe his influence and how he's known worldwide. Also there's a lot of exposure for 2025, so he probably is a very busy man. I don't see him working specifically on something, because he needs to finish this phase in his life. He needs to finish this cycle, and once things start moving more, like I see more like, I don't think that it's like probably like K drama, or or even I don't see teamwork. So I'm like, he probably could be working with his own image, or maybe working alone, like him being summoned, um, because of his popularity, or because of his legacy, or because people really want him and him only. There's a lot of things I'm like, they really want to use his image, and they want to see him, and maybe they want him to participate in certain things, but it's more like they want him because he is the one that matters. I think that more like, oh yeah, I'm going to be part of this project with other people. I see him being asked to participate on show where he is the protagonist, or where he is like all the focus, all the attention is on him, and it's going to be very successful, of course. But yeah, I don't see association, but I do see a lot of exposure, with the World Cup. Also could be, globally, worldwide. He finally also been able to maybe travel more, or just go into different places and countries, and continents, even expanding his options. Maybe visiting places that he didn't know before. He never was there. So it's like new experiences. This is why I think that the wheel of fortune in the middle is like, you finally will be able, the rest of 2025, to move on and advance. And I think that he really wanted to turn the page on this. He really wanted to finish something and being able to move on. Because it started to feel heavy. It started to feel a bit like him feeling like a prisoner. Him being like, I'm not feeling my best in here. I'm not feeling that comfortable. Him having a lot of um, like feeling very very hopeless, sort of like even losing a bit his charm, or maybe his own light, or his ability to shine, or to do things with his own charisma. Like there's something about him, like he could have shined more, but there's something about him at the end sort of losing the inspiration. I mean, like, I'm going to do my work. I'm going to be a professional, but I sort of want to end this. I don't want to do this. But yeah, the wheel of fortune in the middle is like finally things are moving for him. He's going to advance to new projects. With the lovers, there's something that also I think that is interesting, because yeah, there could be also him, maybe playing a role in a romantic. I don't know why I want to say a romantic comedy. I think he doesn't do comedy. I think that he doesn't do comedy, but I don't know, romantic and comedy. I don't know why I think about this. Um, But with the lovers, it's like he's going to be, seduced with two options. And of course, that he's going to choose the one that makes him shine the most. And in this case, like, I don't want to, like, I want to be faithful to what I see here with the last card that is the Nine of Pentacles. But because I don't want to, if he has a co-star in the future, I don't want to offend the co-star, because I'm sure he could potentially have a very famous co-star. But there's something with the Nine of Pentacles that I think that at the end, if he has like a sort of romantic drama, or he is in a movie with someone very famous, at the end, the one that is going to be more famous or more talked about, or the one that really matters, or all the eyes are going to be on him. And probably the project is going to be successful because he is in it. So, the nine of pentacles at the end, I think that is sort of reminding him that he is the source of his own fame or his own recognition, and that he should embrace, that he is a man that shines on his own, and that even when he does the minimum effort, or even when he shows up for very few minutes, he's always in the spotlight, or he's always the one that steals the attention. He is the one that matters. Um, he's the one that everyone wants, or the one that maybe people want to see him more, or people want more of him. This is why I'm like, he's going to also be a lot of like doing at appearances where he just has to show up. He just has to dress, look nice, and maybe not talk that much, maybe being a bit mysterious even. But there's something about maybe his trajectory, or his own legacy. People just know who he is. He doesn't have to do much. Just show up and show he has a very strong presence. He has a very strong charisma. um and this is why when I see the Nine of Pentacles, I'm like, um he is a one-man show. He's like, if he was if he was a singer, or if he was in the music industry, I would say this man would be, the would be very fitting to be a soloist, not to be part of a group. When I say this, it's not, he's a very generous person. I think that he also probably is someone that if he knows of a good opportunity or a good role, he often, maybe advises, his friends in the industry, or people that he loves working with. He's not, selfish. But there's something about his energy at the end. The one that matters is him, the one that stands out, or the one that maybe people keep mentioning, or the one that people remembers the most out of all his projects. It always is him. It's always him. It's always him. And I think that when I say this, it's like he's the golden child, and sometimes when you have this ability of being, um, being, like this very independent and very talented person that everyone, focuses only on you. It's also a very solitary position. It's something that I think that maybe this is another year where he also has to reconcile with these moments, where maybe he is going to be very successful. I see recognition for him. I see that a lot of people want to associate with him. Um, but definitely, being this amazing sometimes, puts him, like, makes him, sort of being like, when you are like very gifted, or when you are like a gifted child, and sometimes you don't make friends easily, or maybe your love language, or maybe even you being understood. A lot of people feel a bit intimidated by you, or a lot of people feel like, oh, no, I cannot talk to him because he's so precious, or he's so important, or he's so talented. So I think that there's with this fame and recognition, there's a lot of loneliness. I see him very enjoying his success, but very on his own. He definitely is okay. I think that he loves his life, and probably he has a very, a slow pace kind of life where he enjoys, life in a very modest way. But I think that people all the time are reminding him of how amazing he is, or how important he is, and he's not that full of himself, he's not like that at all. But definitely he senses that people treat him differently, that people make this distinction, and sometimes that can be a bit solitary, so if maybe someone wants to know about if he's going to find love or romance, I don't I don't see it. I see him very focused on his career this year. But with the lovers, if at some point he end up, having a co-star in a romantic role, there's a possibility that definitely people are going to ship them, because with the lovers, there's a lot of, they play with that concept, and he probably will play that role very well, or they will make it believable, and it will be, very nice to observe, the dynamic. So yeah, maybe, being associated with someone, with a colleague of his, another actress. Um, but yeah, the last cards, the daughter of air, and then the seven of swords. A year where also, with the page of swords. I think that he could, start a certain conversation, or spark a bit certain conversations. I think that he could say something that actually could be a bit sharp. People being a bit like, oh, wow, are you criticizing this? Like, what do you mean? And I think that this is something that I don't know about him, honestly, but there's something about, that I think that he's a guy that he doesn't say that much. So probably he could be in his era where, since he's experiencing this liberation, there could be a bit of him oversharing a bit, or him, maybe saying a lot. Not a lot, but I think that he could impulsively, maybe express his opinion about something, and people being like, oh, like, are you criticizing this person, or are you criticizing this project, or are you, talking negatively about this? Did something happen? People getting all freaked out. People also loving the gossip. People want to hear more. But definitely with the page of source, I think that it could be like him, you know mentioning something very briefly, and also very impulsively, and then changing subjects, because we have the seven of swords. So the seven of swords is like, oh yeah, I can sort of see that yeah, you people want to hear more, but I will stop and I will retreat, or I will just evade, to go deeper into the subject. I will change the subject. I will distract people, because I'm not interested into, you know, saying more. But I think that he could potentially say something, from a very, from a place of honesty. Honestly, from a place of honesty, it's just that maybe people are not ready to receive what he has to say, and maybe, just, like, people sometimes they take, sometimes when artists say something, people, um, they sometimes they try to dissect every word, every facial expression, every smile, every silence. So there's something about people being like, oh, like, what did he mean by that? Why did he say that? Like, oh my God, oh, does this mean that he thinks this and this? So, yeah, I think that he could be feeling a bit like very inspired and opening up about something. Um, but honestly, I think that probably this abrupt commentary, it could be also the reflection of, we started with the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is like him being in a situation where maybe either he had to keep a secret or he couldn't reveal details about something that was very uncomfortable for him, or he felt like stuck, obligated to stay. So I think that, now that he's starting to move on to different opportunities, and he's starting to feel much more like himself, and he's like also recovering um his autonomy, his independency, and him definitely like stating this from his own perspective, from him as a person, his individuality, and his autonomy. But yeah, maybe people, just trying to, maybe start certain drama, or start, seeing it like, oh, are you criticizing this person? Are you criticizing this cause? I think that people are going to be very scandalous about this. But yeah, so 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 yeah, he could potentially say something that could shock people. But also I think that, the Seven of Swords in here in this card, it says seek the truth. So I think that I probably could be like him. I mean, no, I don't think that it's like him. It could be him starting a conversation or stating a point, but also it could be like him trying to clarify a point or maybe a question that someone else has brought up, or someone else has like initiated the conversation or asked him something about a past experience, and him be like, yeah, honestly, look, I felt like this is how I felt. Oh yeah, no, yeah, this wasn't great. Or, and because he's also trying to, maybe also with maybe him, if he's going to an interview show where, he has the possibility to talk, to open up, to be in a very relaxed environment where he can say what's on his mind. um there's something about him also saying it aloud that is like, I'm also trying to seek the truth of what happened, or of what I experienced, why I felt so helpless back then, or why I felt like I was tied up to a certain commitment that I wasn't enjoying anymore. So yeah, so maybe people will get shocked because of this. But yeah, overall it's going to be, these months are going to be of a lot of advances. He's going to be able to leave certain experiences behind and to start over, and maybe getting more lucky, more fortunate to, have different projects that align a bit more, much more with the style of work that he wants to do. And definitely he's going to be very, very successful at it, very successful. See, a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of, propositions that they are really are going to, pay him well. They're going to, treat him right. They're going to treat him like a star. They're going to take care of everything. Everything is going to be fancy, luxurious. So yeah. But yeah, this is all I have for him. I hope that you guys enjoy this. And yeah, if you know something about him, about, what he has been up to lately, I would love to read you, because yeah, that's how I educate myself sometimes about, what their new projects, and how they're doing. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.